Hey everybody, and welcome to the Nops Gaming Channel, the Not One Penny Spent channel. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different because I did the voiceover with the game, and unfortunately the mic, I didn't notice that the mic was not working. So it was red, but I didn't notice. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hop into the plane, and I'll do kind of like a play-by-play. And again, we're looking for the key, and we only have 3,000. What is that? 800 or 971 points to go, and we're gonna head out for a game. All right, let's go. Okay, so the archipelago again, and we have three targets this time, and we're gonna basically go from to the closest target. We're not gonna head for the middle because everybody's gonna be going to the middle, so we're gonna head up at the top command center. So we're just gonna let it play itself, and I'll give the play-by-play. And just to let you know, sometimes I say you should do something, and then I don't do it myself. So don't worry about it. It happens, and don't beat yourself up. And I will beat myself up a little bit on this.
Show me what you can do, pilots. Let's roll.
Okay, so we can see that we have ourselves a specialized Spitfire in front of us there. So we're just kind of seeing if we can catch up to him, but we can't. He's a much faster plane than I am, and those Spitfires, good turn capability. The key has, from what I can tell, has better turn capability. So, and we don't need to worry about him anyway because he's not our enemy. So it's good to have some heavyweight players among us. So in this case here, we're seeing what we're going to do, and he's actually going after a few of these targets. So he's softening them up for us. So we're just going to go and help him out. So by stealing a few kills, I guess, and hopefully he won't mind too much. There we go. So we got a couple there. Now the enemy's coming in. The red team red's coming in, so we got to be careful. If you have some players that are actual humans, and you saw we almost they were going for a head-on here, but we turn away and we go right underneath him and get him. So now we have another one here. There we go. It's always good to be, and we just got caught in the fire from a Spitfire there. So I always talk about situational awareness, but sometimes you just get focused when you see one of these planes coming in. You think, oh, okay, easy target, and then you forget that you got people around you. You got other players. So we picked up the zone, and so we're going to go for the middle now. So let's see. So in most cases, when you're in one of these fighters, the turn fighters, you don't want to go after the heavies. You really want to go after the small light fighters. And the 20s that we have basically are really good 20s, but they heat up very fast. So in most cases, once you specialize the plane or you upgrade the frame, you will get the option of putting in some options to cool down the guns faster. So you can put in like long barrels for much longer range, and gas operated for faster shots. So, and again, we're going to go for the targets of opportunity here. There we go. We got a few. I don't even know if we got that one, but we helped. So we see that we have a specialized, I think that's either a BF or, there we go, we got that one. And I think here we're going to get caught again by not looking at who's behind us. And we got early air supremacy, which is nice. But sometimes, depending on the game, sometimes if you have a very strong team, You don't want to go for supremacy because then you just kind of shorten the game and you get less points that way. So speaking of planes like turn fighters and so you got your light fighters which are really nimble. They're turn fighters. Then you have your if you're going for uh, a type of line, you got to be sure you know how to play the planes. So in most cases, when you have like a heavy plane, you don't want to start turning with a heavy plane because they have a very bad turn rate. Um, that's what happened when I remember a player that I used to watch a YouTube channel. I think it was Fontaman, and he played and played. He had like 60 games in, and he got himself up to an SU9. And he was doing exactly what I was doing. He was trying to get to a specific tier and a specific plane because he thought, wow, that's a great plane, and probably would have a lot of fun. So he got to the SU9, which is a level 7 German plane, tier 7, I'm sorry. And the thing with the tier 7 SU9 is that it's not a turn fighter, it's a heavy plane with heavy. Well, we start off with guns that are really not that great, and you work up. And that's what happens when you're in these lines like tier 7 and 8s. You get planes where you're playing and you're thinking, this is a terrible plane, and you're having a hard time. And you gotta get used to the plane. When you get to the level 7 and 8, you're getting into those planes that have like like either weak guns or you have to put in a lot of money to specialize it. So once you specialize your plane, you can actually go for 30, like 30 millimeter cannon or 20 millimeter cannons, and you got to get used to those. Like 30s are really slow bullets, and they you really have to. There's a big lead you have to do with your guns. So and the problem was he got really, really disgusted with the plane after a while, and he basically gave up on the game because of it. And it's kind of too bad in a way because he was actually a really good player, but he didn't understand. I think he didn't understand the plane. He was trying to use it as a turner, as a light fighting turn plane rather than a boom and zoom type plane, where you just. Oh, and sorry, the Su-9 is not a German plane; it's a Russian plane. Sorry. So he was actually trying to use it as a turn plane rather than a boom and zoom, or something that you just stay in mid or high altitude, and you're looking for slower planes that you can get behind and just shoot, or dive on top of another plane and go fast past them, shoot pass, and then go back up so that you just regain your energy and then turn around by doing a flip or a wing over, and then go back again after you have enough distance between you and the other plane. But the important thing is with those planes, you have to be high on top of a plane and then dive down and go after those planes that way. You can't get caught like with a zero in a turn fight. You will never win. And I got and in this case here, the BF 109 is got a really strong, really good firepower, and I was distracted and I got hit by it from behind. Anyways, so like I was saying, these planes, you don't want to go into a turn fight or anything like that because you lose. So, uh, so in this case, you want to run away. Use your speed, your improved speed on your plane. Try to get something as fast as you can so you can run away or fly away from the target. So we're going to look at that a little bit later on if we decide to actually go into a heavy. But the Japanese lines are not known to be boom and zooms. They're basically known to be bombers and such. So we're done with this game. So we didn't do that great. We got crushed a couple of times by not looking at our situation. So and people took advantage of it. So once you get focused on the plane and you're just shooting and shooting and shooting, people get behind you and they shoot back at you. Okay, so if we look at this here, we got 5 targets destroyed, 3 critical, and we got 1,200 points. Not a lot, because we had a fairly we didn't have that great of a game in this case here. So if we're looking here, we're way down there. We're halfway up the pack, and just a few, even some bots are better than us. So if we're looking at our teammates, they got 7 kills, 4 kills. But it's the points, right? That's the important thing, and the chevrons on the side. Yeah, I mean, you could have 4,000 points, but if you have like one chevron and the top player has 10,000, but no, you're still number one. No chevrons is, you get pushed down to the bottom. So, anyways, we're gonna kind of take a look at these planes here, and we'll. So we're explaining here about the Blenheim. Um, you have the tail gunner, but the version 5 of a bow fighter, the tail gunner is actually up on the just above the dorsal, just above the canopy, which turns out to be a 360-degree dorsal shot. So they're super. Those bow fighters are super heavy gun crazy planes. So when you go after one of those, you got to be careful. Don't get into their sights, because they will 2 seconds in and you're done. So the enemy's done pretty well. They got 13 kills and 14 critical, and got a conqueror there. So lots of capture points. And that whole team was pretty good. The only thing they couldn't get was they couldn't keep the zones. So they got lots of kills, but couldn't keep the zones. All right, so we're gonna exit out of this, and we're just gonna go probably go on our next flight here. So I'm just gonna let's just go. Okay, so we got the archipelago again, but this time we have 5 targets. And the mining plant in the middle, a lot of people will try and get to that mining plant, so you're going to get a lot of planes. But we can't really do anything. So our enemies there, they got a Beaufighter 5, the one that we were talking about with the dorsal, really tough plane, so we don't want to get caught with that guy. So enemy squad's pretty badass. Ours, it's okay. I can't see anything that's super great, but the enemy is pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head for the top northern airfield. I'm not going to go for the mining plant, although everybody says go for the mining plant. I can't do anything with a mining plant with this plane. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm just going to go in and shoot a pea shooters against these buildings. The only thing I can do is wait until the mining plant is taken over, if it gets taken over by the enemy, and then when they get planes flying on top of it, because you have these enemy players and even some of these bots, they will go over the area, because there's other on our team. There's going to be bots going on from our team going over uh, those mining plants, and you get some targets. So otherwise, if you don't wait, you have no targets to shoot at, and you can't shoot anything with a fighter. So we're just going to go and get a few opportunities here. Some of these are, and that was really fast. So our our group probably already had a few shots in, so a few planes down, and we're gonna now try for the mid. Um, so now that we see that the uh, mining plant's taken over, there's going to be planes there that are going to be left over. So by the time we get there, the timer is going to be done, and we should be able to actually get some. But before we go to the mining plant, we're just going to go to the garrison and see if we can get that. And we can see the enemy already has two. They have mining plant, and I believe that, what is that? That's an airfield. It's a little bit too small on my screen here because I'm still editing. And like I said, it takes you a little while to get to these places because these planes aren't the fastest in the game. So we're going to look around, and we see an IL there. So we're just going to give it a few shots on the way by. We can't really stick around because, I mean, we can't do a lot of damage to that. We will do damage, but it takes too long to be able to do anything serious to it. So, and we got another TASH there, and now we got a light fighter there. We're gonna go for that fighter, and so we're gonna give it a quick turn. And I think I'm not looking at what I'm doing. Alright, we got that one. We got another light fighter there we can take advantage of. There we go. And now we've got a heavy, not a fighter, but an attack one. And he's going to try to do a wing over, so he's going to go as slow as he can and just basically stall and turn around and get some speed again. And we're just going to shoot him as much as we can. And we captured the zone, so that's good. Now we're going to go and do a 180 and finish him off. There we go. So now we got one more enemy plane in the area, but I think it's probably a bomber really high up. But so we're not going to worry about that. I mean, once you get past 1,200 meters, 1,600 meters, your plane just slows down and you're going to stall all the time. You can't turn, you can't really do anything. Alright, so we got into the zone, and we got lots of planes here that we can actually go. And I see a player. So we're just going to try and... Okay, so we're trying to get away from this boomerang, and unfortunately he managed to get us while we were turning away. In most cases, what I want to do is I want to dive down under and over so that they pass us and we can just be right on their tail. And unfortunately that didn't work. I should have done it a little bit earlier. I should have dove down, try to get out of his sights, and then up and over again. But some of these players are much better than I am, so they know what to do. So, alright, so we're going to head for the middle again. Try and pick up that mining plant. And sometimes you can just go and have a sip of coffee before you do anything, so... So we're going to give it a little bit of acceleration, try to get to the zone. And that guy's a little bit too far, he's going away, so we're just going to try and get into the zone. So when you get to one of these mining plants, you want to stay fairly low. You want to go under 600, under 800 meters or so, because those plants don't have anti-aircraft. They have... Oh, we picked up the zone. That was pretty good. I mean... Wonder how that happened. Probably just had one or two guys that got a few ships there. I'm not really sure what happened. But when you get to those mining plants, they don't have anti-aircraft guns. They got artillery. And the artillery will go for high targets that are 800 meters or higher in most cases. And if you're in a fighter, you just stay under that ceiling and the artillery can't do anything to you. So... But when you get into the areas where you have like these airfields, they have both artillery and anti-aircraft. So what's worse, the anti-aircraft or the artillery? Just depends what you should do if you're in a fighter. Try and get one or two of those anti-aircraft if you can. Otherwise, you'll get slowly picked off by those. And try not to stay in a straight line. The AI manages to um, purposely start getting better when you're going into a straight line. So, and we got somebody behind us, and there it is. There's that bow fighter that I was talking about. There's that dorsal gunner, and we just got shot just before the squall line. So we were lucky there. We were able to actually get out one more time. So point wise, we're doing fairly well. We got 3 zones. They got the 2, and we'll try and. So we respawned on the southern airfield. So we're going to try and get a little bit of revenge. We're gonna try and get that bow fighter. So against the bow fighter, like I said, that rear gunner, super strong rear gunner, and he's already being attacked by another player. So we're just going to try and get to him there. He's got the buddy up front, and our rear buddy took a turn, and we got him. There we go. Okay, we got another bot coming in, so we're just going to try and get rid of that one at the squall line. We got to be careful not to slam into our buddies there. Okay, now they have 4. They got 4 territories, and we only have the 1, so we have to try and get. I don't think we'll have enough time to actually get anything. So looks like it's going to be a loss. We just picked up a garrison, so that's good. But I think it's going to be too little too late. The point-wise, they're just getting 12 points out of our 9, and then they get a bonus after about 30 seconds or so. So we got one plane really too high. So it looks like we're pretty much done. We're just going to put a GG out there. Close game. And we're just going to try and pick off something while we were here. We're just going to try and pick off this this anti-aircraft gun. There we go. Not that it'll do anything. And that's the game. So putting up a GG. And we got second place, even at a loss, 1 chevron and almost 5,500 points. So decent for this game. Okay. So back at the hangar, we'll take a look at how we did. So we got seven kills. We got the mission there to get 3 AA guns. We got 1. Only 819 points in this case, so really slow game. We managed to get 7 kills, 5 crits, and what is that, one assistance, I believe it was. And our Spitfire did really well, 12 kills and 16 or 18. And that's a bomber. He did pretty good with 17,000. Great, he's a bot, so I got beaten by a bot. And on the opposite team, the Boomerang, the Bowfighter 5, there he is. That's one of those specialized ones. Really tough, really hard opponent. 13 kills, 11 critical. And And again, our boomerang there, that's a little guy, and he got 9 and 13. So that's the game, and hopefully you enjoyed this and you enjoy this series. And we're going to try and get to the key. We only need about, what is that, 1,851 points. So that should be done in about 2 games or so, if we do well. And that's it. So if you enjoy this, just subscribe, hit that little bell, and we'll keep on working, try to get to that Key 43 version 2. And all right, see ya.